All right, fellas, this is day 2, and did some research. Yes, if you're trying to pull out your alternator, you gotta remove your oil filter. Why? Because the difference between the VQ37 that's in the Q so the difference between the VQ37 that's in the Q versus the VQ that's in like the G37. That way you don't be blinded. Is the oil filter is on the right on the older VQs. The oil filter's right in front of the alternator on the new one. So we got stuff to do, the oil change. We've been having it. I just was gonna wait, but looks like it's either now or never. So we'll drain the oil, move the oil filter, clean all that up, and then we'll pull the alternator down. Fun times, right? And we're gonna get it done before it get hot, and I think we actually might have time to go ahead and start running wire for the big 3 upgrade, that we can kind of know the length of it. And then later on when we get some new copper lugs, because the ones I have too small. So we got some joints coming from Sky High Car Deal, and they're kind of backlogged a little bit on Amazon. So yeah, man, let's go. Look what just showed up. Amazon brought me a package. Yes it did, yes it did. I got my gates built. My new truck is fit to go in. With the, oh my mama, you don't want no drama. Hit you with that llama. It's mad windy out here, but time for the oil change. A little purple for the wind. So we're gonna drain the oil, remove the oil filter. We got the cap loose. I'm not gonna take it all the way out though. And once the oil filter's removed, all the stuff that's complete, we'll put the drain plug back in, and then we will remove the alternator. Yeah. All right, guys, we got the oil pan set up right beneath the oil catch pan, right beneath the engine oil pan. Drain plug's right here. It's right past this bar. This stand sits kind of high. I'm not gonna bring it underneath here. I also got underneath. I had the oversized Purelator oil filter. My ex got the oil change, some bullshit shop. We finna put some good shit back up in here. So there we go. So what I did is I used some Marvel's mystery oil to help clean all this gunk out, so when I put the new oil in, it shouldn't affect it. Shouldn't be any issues. Put that right there. As that's draining. Remember, if it starts to glop out, like gloop, gloop, that means you haven't taken the oil cap and loosened it up. I smell fuel in here. And they put this shit on. This shit is rough to. Well, got the alternator right there as well. So that's what. Don't just pull all the way out or you'll get over on this front sway bar. I'm gonna lower it down gently. I'm gonna put it on here. There she's go. We'll make sure we clean up the area. Yeah. With this out the way, I'll move the camera once I get all this drain. I don't want nothing on my phone. But once it's all out the way, I'll show you how much more room you have now to get the alternator out. But that oil had to come out, which works for me because this oil was trash anyway. It's got like a red tint to it, because oil is kind of opaque, even when it's dirty. I can see the red tint from the Marvel's Mystery Oil, which means it did its job. So, yay. How it looking? It's getting kind of low. It's getting kind of low. Now, usually you want this on a flat surface, or you want the car flat so it can drain all the way out, which I recently learned thanks to Donut Media. We're not in that type of situation. We got that many jacks, and we got limited time. But this gets out most of the bad oil, so this will work. I'm gonna keep moving the dick. Oh, she know what it is. She know how I feel. She know that I want to give her all this dick. Oh. All right, now we're making a mess. Goddamn win. Later on, we will get a Z1 oil drain plug. Boom. Tighten that down here. A second. I gotta clean this mess. We'll jump back in later. Real quick. That's how janky this place was. They didn't wipe none of this crap. Because there was a little bit of seepage from this area. And I was like, maybe my housing's damaged. No. They didn't wipe this damn thing down before they put a new one on. If you know what I know, you're supposed to clean the surface before you put a new filter on. Look at that. Oil filter out the way. Alternator comes there. So, yep. If you're having issues, oil filter, you gotta change your oil. So, plan extra time for that. We're gonna take our careful, because we got a bracket on the back. We've already disconnected the connections in the back. It was a little tedious, kind of hard to do, but we got it done. So we're gonna get to turn this, move this hose out the way. Move these hoes out the way. Oh. I know they didn't expect me to have to take down. Well, they probably didn't expect me to take the damn thing out myself. Oh. Small fingers. We don't want to damage the housing. So let's move this back. These are AC lines right here. It's the only place that has ample room, quote unquote, ample. So we just gotta find the right movement combination to get this out. This is a beefy alternator. Struggle is real. And I don't want to move the hose and have a mess on my hands. You will need to move it out the way. If you can. I wonder if I loosen these up, will that help? Well, not, because I have to loosen this up and take this off here. Huh. That might be the play. I might need to grab a breaker bar. And you can't see what I'm talking about. So, we might need to loosen up the sway bar. Break this loose. Loosen these up. Which means I have to loosen up the other side. And that should give us enough play to bring this down, because this is probably slightly bigger than the one on the smaller on the older VQs. I can't say smaller per se. 3.7 liters displacement, 3.7 liters displacement. You know what I mean? But I don't see any other way for me to get this out. We're not gonna be able to break it up. Yeah, I think I'm about to do that. We're about to break some things loose. Alright, we'll be back. Alright, so you can loosen up the sway bar here at the bracket mounts. That'll do it. I tried to take these loose. There's no way in the world I can get enough leverage on here to break these loose, so this looks like it works. This looks like it works. You can see I got more of the housing at an angle. Looks like I'm gonna have to take them all the way out to really just get enough room to break this loose. So you guys will learn this with me. Yep, that's what we needed. Be mindful of your oil filter housing. You do not want to damage your threads, because then you're assed out. So let's take this one. You can take the nuts off. Looks like that's the ticket. Just move the nuts all together, and you'll have full clearance. Yep. So, if you don't know, now you know. Now it's connected in here. There we go. So, from this point on, oh, sorry about that, guys. Oil filter, sway bar, out the way. Do that, come straight down, no problems. Thankfully, this pivot's out the way, swings out the way, so you can do what you gotta do. Now we don't have to worry about damaging threads on this. It's awesome. I still wouldn't put an oil filter in just yet, unless you have a shorty one like mine. This might work. The other one's just way too long to work around, but we'll see. We'll see. We're probably just gonna put the new one in and then worry about that later. But now that we know, that's what you do. Disconnect all the connections. Remove your sway bar, let it fall in an angle. Remove the oil filter if you have the extra long one. Sorry, sneeze. It should come down no problem. This is what it looks like in the back. Hopefully you can see that. All right, let's switch everything over. Side by side, 250 Beast versus 150 Wimp. Look at it. Old and busted, new and hotness. As you can see, connectors are the same. See, make sure everything lines up before you try to put it in. All we gotta do now is put this bracket on and do the reverse of this assembly. The reassembly. Let go. Gates. Brackets on. Time to go back in. All right, y'all. So we got the new one ready. So I cleaned up the tip of the threads with a wire brush. Some pitting on there. I ain't like it. As you can see, this is so much easier to do now. Bring it in. I gotta get it under here so I can see. Bring it up. Back it up first. Start to tilt it. Back it in. I'm like, oh, this is much easier. Spoke too soon. God damn. All right. There we go. In half for the housing. We got wires in the way, so make sure you support it because you don't want this falling on your face. It will hurt. There we go. Finally cleared the wire that was in the way. There we go. Ah, shit. Goddamn bracket's annoying. Trying to clear these wires so this bracket can further move up, which allows me to do this. I don't want to rest on the housing like that, but I gotta get a better angle. Alright, don't let it bang that housing because you can damage it. I'm gonna look up top. Don't shake it. I don't want to fall. Find out what wires I got in the way. That's what it is. So that the connections that it goes into, you have to get around those. hold it up here. I was big tempted not to use this bracket no more. This makes me not want to use it at all. Yeah. But hold your wires in place so they don't just dance around and get nicked. Damage, there we go. So once you get around the wires, then you can really get it into position. We put back in place. Make sure all the connectors are up and out the way. While we have it here, we took that nut off. Need to grab that connection that goes on the post. Slide that on. Alright, let me bring you up here so you can see. See if I can adjust you guys where you can see it. Difficult. You're probably gonna be looking at a different angle than I'm doing it. Yes. There we go. All right. Improvise. There we go. All right. So we took, really can't see it, but we're sliding this across the post. I already took the nut off with it outside the vehicle. Now we'll take the nut on. Now we're gonna take the nut and thread it on. Use your hand that you can best get down there with. This is not a flared nut, so be careful. And of course, you know I dropped it. Where the hell did he go? Something tells me it's gonna fall out later. So I got the flare nut from the other alternator. The difference between the two posts are this one's longer because of cardio applications. You can add a big 3 wiring, which we'll do later on, because I'll tell you guys about it in a second. This is a pain in the ass to get to from this angle. Couldn't have that rack in the way. Okay. There we go. There we go. Got it on. Start threading it. Now we got to thread it all the way down. Adjust the post so it can seat properly. There we go. There we go. Nope. There we go. Finally. Down. Let's see if I can get you guys a look. Yeah, you can barely see it right here. Right here it is. That post. You do not want these spaces, so I'm gonna grab my 12mm. Tighten it back down. 12mm box wrench. Open wrench. That's what you're gonna use. It's tedious, but here's what it is. You can always take it to the shop and let them do it for you, right? Be 6 days and $2,000. All right, so we just pulled the boot back a little bit more so we can get in here a little bit better. This is pain in the ass to get in here. And also with the angle, you're gonna have to use the closed end, because unfortunately that flared end won't get in there. But you gotta find the right angle so you can actually tighten it down. They probably make a long handled version of these just for this purpose. I know they make ratcheting ones. Can you get this open there? Okay. Okay, no, you can. You can get the opening down here. It's a pain though. Probably gonna drop it. Sit. done. There's plenty of posts left, so if we were doing a super cups, super custom setup where you want to have multiples of these, which I don't know where they would go because there's literally no other room other than trying to put one right here, which means I have to move the air box. That would be possible. But this 250, the extra 100 amps should be more than enough for my system. What I'm trying to do. If you can get a ratcheting box wrench, do so. This is for birds, man. Putting the boot back down will be a little tricky because you do have a longer post, but you should be able to get it once you get your finger underneath and flip it over onto the post. It won't sit all the way because of the longer post. It ain't sit. Like somebody with a big head trying to put on a hoodie. It's too small. Hilarious. Alright. We got that part done. So now we can finish positioning it. There we go. Where it needs to go. I'm gonna check from the bottom real quick. Let's see what it looks like. There we go. Quite certain I can see from up top. Now if we connect that other connector, this one is still fairly easy to get to. No, we're probably going to, yeah, we're going to, now we're going to get this mounted all the way up in here. Because from what it looks like, let's say, since it's heated down, I won't be able to really push it in and get it all the way connected. So, let's go back down here, gentlemen. And back to the bench. Flip it. adjust this bracket. You will need this bracket. Do not throw this bracket away, because this will help keep it adjusted in place. So the skinny long bolt goes into the bottom bracket area. Yep, that one loose. All right, and the large one goes up top. The thicker one goes up top. Now we're gonna get our ratchet and ratchet them down one by one, side to side, until the seat's all the way. And I believe this is 14 up top and 10 down here, or 12 up top. We're gonna see. I got a 14 right here. 14 millimeter deep socket. Just get up there. Yes, it will. Once again, if you have one of those little skinny electric screwdrivers, they will go handy here. So what we learned, to make the job as fast as possible, you most definitely will have to drop the sway bar out the way. You may not need to do the oil filter unless you have the long one. If you do, just plan on the oil change. This is the VQ37 BHR motor, which is slightly different than other VQ37s of the past. And far cry different than the BR30D TT. Because our belts don't snap. It's not, we got it down, but we don't have it snug because we want to make sure we get this one done. And then this one done as well. Then we will tighten everything down. Correction, 12 millimeter. So let's get this one. Yep. And also it looks so pretty. Yes, it does. Speed up time. So we're gonna snug this one. Snug this one, and then we're gonna and that's just enough because this is still, I believe, an aluminum block. We don't want to fuck that up. Somebody let the dog shit and didn't pick it up like they're supposed to. Those are rules. Those are the rules. It's tight. It's tight. While we're down here, let's do the oil filter. We're gonna put a little bit of oil in the oil filter, and then we're gonna put some oil around the ring of the oil filter and put it on. I'm gonna wipe it down one more time though. All right, let's give it one more wipe down. All the debris. Mixing with the oil. I'll put the link in the description for all this stuff. It's a little rough around the edges, but that's the edges. So, you notice with the royal purple, you got the little red spot, marker rather. Some of the excess oil. Lightly start to twist it on. You don't want to cross thread this. Cross thread this, you pretty much F your engine off. So let's give it 2.5 turns. You don't want to cinch it down on there. Just all right, so I'm gonna get out of the pooling excess oil. Take care of that. There we go. All right, now we're gonna tighten this down. Put the sway bar back up, connect it from the top. Then we can hold this back down and give her a crank. Well, no, we're gonna do the belt first, then the sway bar. We're gonna start the belt first because it's gonna be easier to get it underneath here from the bottom and around the tension pulley. So yeah, man. Oh. Yep. tight. Not too tight. Don't want to strip that out either. Yeah, man. That's how this will work. Oh. Out real quick. Flip you around. Flip. I'm gonna kill this little iPhone battery. See? Man, iPhone ain't getting no light. You can barely see it right there. The open connection. I'll fix that now. Bitch, I'm a big slang. Oh, yeah. Cocaine. Oh, yeah. Alright. Make sure you gotta turn the right way. Yep. Goes in like better than it came out. Put this back in the socket. Little clipped area. Wire back in. Let's clip back in. Yeah, man. That's what we want. Yep. Alright, so real quick. The gates. Belt. Get y'all set up, man. That's why Chris Fix and guys like him only put out a video every so often, because camera angles. Get them right so you guys can actually see what's going on. Get good detail. That takes forever, man. Alright, so we want to compare the two belts. I always want to compare. Don't ever throw away your old belt unless it's just shot. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you went online, compare the belt lengths. They should be roughly the same. Micro rib V. Tell which one's new. This one looks worn out. This one looks fresh. So now, I'm gonna get underneath. Start putting the belt in. So we know on the get y'all good. Yeah, this should be a pretty decent angle. You know, underneath the, I should say behind the tensioner pulley. Break my own shit. Behind the tensioner pulley, this smooth side of the belt needs to go. So we can do that. Bring the belt down. This bottom portion is going to go up and underneath. Let me get down there real quick. Make it a lot easier. I'm going to slowly start routing this while I'm down here. So we know the V-ribs go across the top here. And alternator. Make sure I get up underneath here first. So you're about to turn it at an angle, bring it up and over. So I'll take a little bit of finesse to get it around the crank. Underneath that area. But do it, just do it right. All right, we got that part done. Let's come back up top. Top. I'm gonna do a diagram real quick. That's how we do it down here in Tate House, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Pops used to say the difference between men and boys is the cost of the toys.